Welcome! In today's video we'll be playing a game that can be best described as a game. You see, after I got through my mental deterioration due to my G2A tier list video, I decided to play something that doesn't give me a headache for once. A game where those with brains get rewarded and other specimens like myself get utterly destroyed. Welcome to Loudward. I hopped in, created my avatar, named myself K Loud for no reason at all, and started my journey.
Just fucking kill me!
I woke up on the beach after a ship crash and instantly gathered some of my lost weed to cope with the events that I went through. After a quick nap, I somehow found myself back in my house and was rudely awakened to a small crowd outside who demanded the blood money I apparently owed them.
Rise and shine, trog spawn.
Okay. Either way, I'm told I have 5 days to pay up, or else. With that, I ventured out into the wild to gather some wealth. Not 2 minutes after I left the village though, I witnessed a guy getting torn to shreds by a chicken. My very reasonable response to this was to help myself to his stuff and then help the chicken kill the other bastard. Don't be a furry. Don't fuck with chickens.
No, God!
After this little mischievous event, I headed further up the road and was met with a choice. Left or right? Well, since I saw a gate on the right, I assumed there would be a village nearby, where I could potentially rest and sell some of the things I found. This, in fact, was a very bad idea. I went into the settlement, where I calmly walked in and was instantly mauled to death by a hyena, and got captured. Escape attempt number 1. After I got my stuff back, I tried to be sneaky and find some loot, but unfortunately one of the guards saw me.
The clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
So instead, I calmly left. Outside the fort, I went the right way, then turned around thinking that I was going the wrong way and started walking in the actual wrong direction. Thankfully, however, I did not get lost for long, as about 20 seconds after I turned around, this music started playing and I was brutally killed, yet again. Escape attempt number 2. I woke up, found the maze where I was sleeping, went up to this guy thinking that I had full health, and was killed, yet again. Escape attempt number 3. This time I spawned outside the walls, and although I lost some of the loot I found, I consider this an overall win. With that in mind, I started sprinting home, screaming in joy and laughing that I got away. At this point, the game just straight up spawned me back in town. This is one of my least proud victories, I have to say. Either way, I sold what I had to, bought a great sword to stay true to the K-Loud style, and went up to have a nice refreshing As it turns out, I in fact died so many damn times that these absolute bastards joined my house.
You're all fucking bastards.
To take revenge on the town for stealing my shit, I decided to go ahead and set up my tent in the most annoying place possible. As you can tell, I'm not a petty person at all. The next day, I went back out and spotted a couple of hyenas. Feeling mildly irritated at the hyena at the bandit camp, I went on a small rampage, during which I was able to gather enough predator bones to upgrade my sword. Oh, and I also found a hood.
Nobody cares!
With my newfound strength, I decided, fuck these guys, I don't need these losers, and headed out into the wilderness to move to a new land, specifically Frenmerker Forest. For the next little while, it was just me, myself, and about 1,000 different things out to kill me. On my way to the forest, I stumbled upon another bandit camp. I spotted the patrolling bandit, and after a civil conversation, during which I conveniently forgot the phrase fair trade, we agreed that I could take all the loot I wanted from the camp for nothing in return. Unfortunately, the other bandits clearly didn't get the memo, so I had to have a couple more conversations, but rest assured my amazing persuasion skills took care of everything. With that, I approached the camp's first chest in a calm demeanor, which is precisely when I was introduced to the camp's traps. Good one guys, I'll make sure to look out for that one on my way out. Now, if you haven't played this game before, there's 2 ways of restoring your health, either by using health items like life potions, or sleeping. Considering that I was low on health and did not have any potions on hand, you could say that I was a very sleepy boy. So I set up my tent in the smack middle of the bandit camp and went to sleep. After a good night's rest, I checked out the camp's prison, which is where I found this.
Hello, your computer has virus.
For you aforementioned people who haven't played this game before, this is Wendigo, Long story short, Wendigo equals big bad. Now, this was quite a shock as I wasn't exactly expecting a monster in the block, so I started hitting it, looking for a bleed proc, but it almost killed me, so I simply shut off its cock. With that, I was able to loot the Richardless Wendigo, who gave me a key to an ornate chest. Very nice. With that, I completed my end of the deal, so I left. Weirdly enough, nobody said goodbye. I reached the checkpoint going to Enmarker Forest, and headed through. This was, yet again, say it with me now, a horrible, horrible idea. I had no health at all, nor did I have any food with me, so I painstakingly sneaked my way over to the town where I stopped and bought some food. On my way there though, I spotted a cool structure in the distance, so I decided to check it out. Now, it is important to note that up until now my strategy in a fight was just to hit the enemy, as my sword was good enough to pretty much kill anything before they could do much damage to me. What I did not realize, however, was that this area is significantly harder than the previous. Either way, I was fairly close to the structure, but I spotted two Illuminator horrors. I went up to them and tried to use my signature technique, in response to which it laughed in my face and proceeded to fart on me. I finally reached the Wind Temple where I spotted this. Now, I don't know about you, but when I see something that's the size of a tree wearing armor, my first instinct is not to incorporate my signature technique that was easily bested by a previous enemy that's the size of a bush. It unfortunately spotted me though, so thinking I was smart I set up a couple of traps, which it easily walked through. I respawned at this cave, where I talked to this dude who gave me some armor, so as thanks, I robbed him blind. Understanding that I stood no chance with the big dude, considering that he was immune to traps, I headed back to town. On my way, I spotted a deer, who killed me and I spawned back in the cave again. Oh my god, you absolute... After I successfully made it back to town, I wanted to style the stuff I had, which is when I hovered my cursor over the spikes, which read the following. Spikes that must be placed in a tripwire trap, inflicting damage to enemies that step on it. In other words, I simply failed to actually arm the traps. Giggling to myself, I sprinted back to the temple, yet again thinking that with this newfound knowledge I'll obliterate the big dude. Yeah, that did not happen. With that, I felt defeated, so instead of heading south, I headed back north, hoping that the enemies will be a bit easier there and I could gather some loot. Well, they weren't. When I woke up, I found a note in a potion next to me, from the hero, the legend, Gap. Something tells me he will be seeing me quite often for the next little while. The only issue with this was that I had no clue where I was. After some confusion, I noticed a ghost walking around, something that I also saw when I first came to this land 3 hours ago. That meant I was somewhere north, and after a quick glance at my map, I noticed the ruin near me. When I got there, I found an ominous trapdoor, which I went through. This was in fact a horror. In the dungeon, I found 2 ghosts. As the big brain individual that I am, I thought about sneaking around and attacking silently, or setting up a couple of traps to gain the advantage. But then I realized that my brain is smoother than custard. However, the battle that ensued was unbelievably epic. Tales will be told of the heroic hero going up against the odds as he's swinging right, then left, then right, then left, incorporating his signature technique of just tanking hits and stuff, playing the game properly. Oh my god, this is torture to watch. After another rescue by Gap, I felt quite bad for making him help me over and over again. So to make sure he doesn't waste any more of his potions on me, I started the fight with 2 enemies, who killed me instantly and joined yet another potion. I'm sorry, Gap. But who is Gap? Is he a great entrepreneur and pioneer, a graceful expeditioner, or perhaps a dyslexic giant erect penny? Potentially plural. Anyways, back to the story. This was the point where something clicked. I went back to town and began doing unbelievable things, such as crafting, cooking, and even brewing. Truly, an unforeseen turn of events. I felt odd, like little mountains were growing out of my brain. Now, either my custard of a brain is starting to solidify, or Is this what wrinkles feel like? Maybe, but only maybe, as 2 minutes later I ventured outside and got killed by the exact same goddamn deer that killed me the last... God damn it! Next, I gave up on exploration and used the other exit from town to check out the ruins to the north of east. Here, my suspicion proved itself to be true. The wrinkles were growing. I spotted another ghost, this time red, which surely means it's stronger, and I did the unthinkable. I applied a potion to my blade. I know, you can stop clapping now. You were clapping. Right. After I defeat the ghost, I proceed further and enter a dungeon. Here, I found a text telling me something about going forth with respect and good intention. If only I knew what those words meant. I somewhere ascended further into the dungeon, where my face was promptly introduced to a frostbolt.
Oh, hello there!
I, of course, didn't appreciate such introduction, so I went up to the mage and Alright, take two. So I went up to the mage and killed him. Next up we have this dude with a shield and saber.
I will send you to Jesus.
Who almost kicked my ass. So I quickly execute a strategic retreat while definitely not thinking about cheesing the fight. Nope. No clue what you're talking about. After recovering some health, I managed to kill him. But at this point, something tragic happened. I don't know how to tell you guys this, but I had to abandon the two-handed sword. But check this out. Okay, that looked way cooler in my head. Either way, after respectfully stealing all the goods from the dungeon, I left. I grew a lot. I now have a better weapon, I'm using potions, I'm sure I'll be able to defeat the big Dino. Ah! What's this? I got a new sword for dying? Yes, of course, I most definitely didn't forget to hit record for 3 hours straight. Either way, I went back to town to craft some potions when I actually hit my middle mouse button. As it turns out, this game has combos, something that I had no idea about for the past 20 hours. Either way, like I said, I came back here to craft a couple of potions. So I crafted a couple of varnishes, as well as teas, rage potions, and worm potions. How did I know the recipe for these? Trial and error, of course. Anyways, I've been eyeing this huge gemstone for a while now, and I decided to have a look at it myself. So, while I'm making my way over there, let me ask you something. Are you an absolute bastard? No, right? Well, my analytics say that 97% of you are absolute bastards. Hey, it's YouTube saying it, not me. So, why not hit the subscribe button? I put a lot of work into these videos, so if you've enjoyed them up until now, you'll enjoy the ones in the future. Either way, I got to the crystal and went inside, which was very anticlimactic actually. It's just a room. Now, due to my previous experiences with dungeons, I am scared shitless, trying to watch my step. At this point, my brain is working at 200%, trying to figure out why the hell I haven't died yet. I'm thinking about traps, an ambush, maybe a mimic. Which is when I found a conspicuous lever.
Welcome to Uganda!
I cleared the dungeon, found this sick helmet and found a floating flame orb at the end. Try saying that 3 times fast. I interact with it and it brings me to 2 fire elementals. Now, I have 2 options here. 1, quickly assess the situation and drink some potions, or 2, set up some traps, as these guys have not seen me yet. I chose option 3, which is panic for no reason at all, and die. With that embarrassing defeat, I decided to do a bit of exploration to see if I can perhaps gather some better equipment, during which I found this amazing looking tent. When I went inside, I met the not so nice owner.
You break in my house, your mammy can't save you. I'ma tie your ass up, I'ma fuck in your ass.
Rough neighborhood, I see. However, this worked out in my favor, as I managed to nick a couple of potions as well as some mana stones. With these aforementioned potions, I decided to try my luck at the Wind Temple yet again. On my way there, I was able to kill some stags and using trial and error, made myself a new bow as well as a couple of alpha sandwiches, which boost my attack power. So, when I got there, I took every drug known to man, like any other self-respecting person preparing to enter a temple, snuck upon the bastard and engaged in combat. This try felt good. I used everything I've learned so far, blocked his attacks, used combos, and at the end, I came out victorious. Let's fucking go! With that, I managed to complete the goal for today's video. However, ladies and gentlemen, this is not the end, as I decided to enter the actual temple itself. Inside, without thinking, I pulled the first lever I saw. I apparently killed something and got the achievement Scourge Killer. Unfortunately, it didn't take long until I found out what that something was. And not only that, but as it turns out, there are multiple of them. I decided to try and lure them into the trap in the middle. This was actually a good idea. After what felt like a marathon, I went back up and made sure that they were dead. I looted everything and got the final prize, a spear that one can describe as Pog. With that, I conquered what I wanted, so I quite literally rolled my ass back to town, where I went to sleep.
Hey, you.
What?
Finally awake.
Oh, for fuck.